Doing the right thing is never the wrong thing. The best brand is just being yourself. Oh my goodness, more leadership lessons from Ted Lasso Crew Season 2. Now I already have a few videos from leadership lessons from the first season of this amazing show, Ted Lasso, that I'll link to in the description. Look, I was excited to get into Season 2 and share some new lessons with y'all. The producers promised the show would explore deeper topics, and boy did they deliver. They developed more characters and intense topics than Kodak film labs in the 90s. See what I did there? We get to see the nitty-gritty brass tacks with a number of characters exploring topics of love, trust, anxiety, self-confidence, death, relationships, purpose, and dun-dun-dun, betrayal. All while still having such a warm, heartfelt, consistent storyline. I mean, I usually never feel this, but I honestly want to live in that show, in that world with those characters. So if you haven't seen Ted Lasso, yo, do yourself a favor and watch it. Such an outstanding show. It's been celebrated and awarded with 7 Emmys. With such diverse, deep, emotional topics and supporting character storylines, the leadership lessons from Ted Lasso weren't as straightforward and on the surface as Season 1. But I did manage to pull out several gems to share with y'all. As with the first season, the Ted Lasso quotes are outstanding. But they're not all coming from Ted this season, which is cool. This video doesn't contain any spoilers you couldn't extrapolate from the trailers, but I think it really helps to have watched the show first before this video. So let's go into leadership lessons from Ted Lasso Season 2. First, out the gate, call on an expert. The team brings in a sports psychologist to assist with some trauma for one of their players. Ted is resistant and skeptical with good reason, as he's typically seen as a wizard with unpacking issues and providing thoughtful, inspiring advice. But the training, education, and brilliance of the psychologist is clearly effective beyond Ted's ability. The lesson is, don't let your pride and ego stop you from consulting an expert to help with the problem. Kind of like if you need leadership training and coaching, I'm here for you. If it helps you reach your larger goals, there's no shame in phoning a friend. Next lesson, give second chances when someone is trying to grow as a person. Ted allows Jamie back to play for Richmond, much to the disgust and anger of the team. Now, he's realistic about the uphill battle to win back trust. Point is, employees are developing and will make mistakes. They'll lose trust and respect. They may not appreciate and value what they have, but when they are truly sorry and want to change, give them that chance. Going along with Ted aiding Jamie's return, the next lesson is fun but a little crazy. To create unity and teamwork, it can sometimes help to create a common enemy, even if that means you end up being the bad guy. Ted pulls out his alter ego, Ted Lasso, a real jerk coach, to divert the team's anger away from Jamie and on Ted instead. Brilliant move to create team connection by creating a team goal, or in this case, a team enemy. On the topic of building team unity, another lesson is to support their larger cause or purpose. I'm talking change the world purpose is what everyone wants. Purpose beyond just winning matches, or at work just winning clients and making more money for shareholders. Sam decides to stand up to Dubai Air, and his whole team and coaches, leadership support his purpose. This creates an even deeper respect, trust, connection, and I think most important, intrinsic motivation that's so valuable to have on any team and in any work environment. The next lesson is seen from several different perspectives through the season. A huge part of being a great leader is developing others into leaders. You may often need to help people envision themselves as a leader and figure out what unique knowledge, experiences, skills, and strengths that they bring to the table. Your leadership style may be very different than mine, which is different from someone else's. But it doesn't mean that these differences aren't equally valuable and effective. We see Roy on a journey from a once team captain to eventually, with Ted's help, realizing his significance and purpose as a coach. Ted's anxiety that pulls him from the field during a crucial moment in a match allows Nate to step up and call an outstanding play, further building his confidence into leadership. We also see how managing, balancing, and struggling and coping with self-confidence may have negative impacts and distort the image of what leadership is for Nate. But that trust of Nate's leadership abilities fosters his growth. Keely's leadership growth from mentoring by Rebecca is an excellent example of the power of trust, guidance, and recognition to develop a mentee's confidence, resulting in the emergence of an unsuspecting leader. Higgins drops such an awesome quote: "A good mentor hopes you will move on. A great mentor knows you will." Man, that's real. The next important lesson from Ted is if you're grappling with something that's impactful to you and the goal or mission of your team, be vulnerable and ultimately honest by facing and working on the problem. I'm referring to Ted's anxiety issues. As we see, this is an uncomfortable process that's often not in any type of straight line. Dr. Sharon's awesome quote regarding this is, "The truth will set you free, but first it'll piss you off." The other great one from the doc is, "Can't be your mentor without occasionally being your tormentor." So good. Ted's vulnerability about his own problems not only allows him to heal, but also build a strong connection and admiration for this expert he was initially skeptical of. And as we see, vulnerability works best when it goes both ways. The doctor becomes open and candid with Ted, and then Ted is forced to be candid with everyone. As he accepts this, he shares with his team, "Every choice is a chance, and I didn't give myself a chance to build further trust with y'all. It's our choices what show what we truly are, far more than our abilities." And his team rewards his vulnerability with support and loyalty. Brilliant stuff. Along the lines of vulnerability, and as mentioned with the first leadership lesson, calling on an expert when facing a challenge can be extremely beneficial. I have 15 years leadership experience and 8 years with training leaders. Please contact me for coaching and training services. Links are in the description. As well, consider subscribing for routine leadership tips and work humor. Thank you. The last lesson that is really the central theme for the first season is believe. Believe in your mission, believe in your purpose, believe in yourself, believe in your team. We see this pop up several times and in several ways throughout the season. Ted makes the comparison to movies where the main character always has to go through the dark forest, but you have to believe that everything will work out in the end. Regarding a challenging decision by Rebecca, Ted advises to listen to your gut and your heart. Don't listen to others. And in the last episode, Ted gives his team the opportunity to decide the final approach and play, and to again believe. One of the greatest lessons is simply believe. Believe that you and your team's knowledge, experiences, skills, and strengths will guide you, and everything will work out in the end. That's the beauty of life. To quote Ted's goodbye to Earl the dog in a press conference, "It's funny to think about the things in your life that make you cry just knowing that they existed, can then become the same thing that make you cry knowing that they're now gone. Those things come in our lives to help us get from one place to a better one." Thanks for watching. Much love. You got this, yo.